everyone, and welcome to National Pet Month. That is right, it is April, which means that it is officially National Pet Month here in the good old US of A. And we are here to talk about essential oils in pets. So welcome, Terry, Mia, Elizabeth.
Yes, and everyone on Facebook, you guys are loved as well. We just can't see your face. So
Yes, make sure to say hi.
hopefully,
I see Michelle over there, and I see Lisa. Hey,
good.
Lisa. And Rona is there. So
Oh,
I'm excited about this. And I love essential oils and pets, you guys, because I have 3 dogs, 2 lizards, and a boa constrictor. So I
well,
have
I
some
have
pets.
no pets. I have plants, but I've started working a lot with horses. And in the past, I've used oils a lot on horses and dogs. So between all of us, we do have some good experience. And can I say, whoever's watching, put what animal you have in the chat, or maybe animals that you help take care of, type of thing, because it'll be interesting to know who works with different animals.
Yeah, that's a fantastic. Um, I would love
Maybe you
to.
can also note if you've used any of Young Living's products with animals. You don't have to say which ones or what they're for, but if you have a favorite, you can stick it in there too.
All right, everyone. There we go. Okay, every once in a while when I choose slideshow, it goes without me. Okay, but we're gonna hope that it'll stay. Um, so welcome. There is one thing that I definitely want you guys to know, which is we're going to be talking about some oils today that are part of our Animal Sense line. And when they're part of the Animal Sense line, they are officially approved for use on animals. However, we are going to be mentioning a few other oils today as well that are generally known to be safe with oils, but they don't have like the official designation of safe to use with animals. Okay. So some of the oils are very specifically labeled for safe to use with animals, and they are created for animals and for our pets. Other ones are just kind of generally regarded as safe, but we're going to show you some safety tips as well that you can use with your animals, right, Elizabeth?
Absolutely. And I think if we were to actually dive into it, the single oils that are mentioned and even some of the blends are part of the Animal Sense blends. So I'm
Yes.
not going to say specifically, but we kind of know, okay, lavender is in some of the Animal Sense oils.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll let you know how you can kind of tell if they're safe with animals or not. Look at this. Elizabeth Denise says that she has cats, dogs, and sheep.
Oh, sheep. That is awesome. One of my friends is raising sheep.
Oh,
Cool.
that's great. That's great. So why does it matter if it's a Young Living oil, you guys? And I know a lot of us know this, but it's so great for a refresher. The bottom line is that you know if it is from Young Living that it is nothing but the highest quality essential oil that is available on the market. Um, and it can really have a dramatic effect on how that oil works depending upon the quality, and that's in humans and also in animals. It also matters what part of the plant is used to produce the oil, what the soil condition is, what type of fertilizer is used, geographic region, climate, altitude, harvesting methods. All of these things make a huge difference in how the original plant actually stays intact and is effective even through the distillation process. So Young Living takes a lot of pride in how it really does a great job of making sure you get the highest quality essential oil. And it backs that guarantee all the way from the seed of the plant going into the ground through the sealed bottle. And that's why it's called the seed to seal commitment. And if you guys have not yet checked out seedtoseal.com, you really should go there and deeply understand the trouble that Young Living goes through and how it is painstaking in creating the best essential oil on the market. And Elizabeth, one of the things that really surprises me every single time I hear it from Young Living is that Young Living hand weeds its fields and uses zero pesticides.
Mm-hmm.
No pesticides in those
Mm-hmm.
fields. And Elizabeth, I don't know if you can remember the exact statistic, but at convention, they had said something like if you use pesticides, it's like I'm going to use hyperbole, you guys, but it's like $1 an acre or something to like keep the weeds out of the fields. Whereas if you hand weed them, it's like $100 an acre to actually keep pests and weeds out of the fields. And I don't know if you remember the exact amounts, but it was quite shocking.
Sadly, I don't, but I do have pictures of in Utah, they actually had sheep running through the fields. So they put up just an electric wire around this one portion of the field. And what's neat is sheep will generally just eat the weeds and such, but they won't eat like your lavender plants, for instance.
Oh.
So on some of our fields, they do utilize animal grazing actually.
Oh wow, I didn't actually know that. And here's the thing, you guys, too, that I really love about Young Living. Excuse me. And that is that they would rather sell out of an oil than to push an oil that doesn't meet their high quality standards through to the market. They care more about quality than they do about just fluffing something up and sucking in all of this profit. And so they will reject vats of oil that do not meet the standards that they require and just wait for that next plant to come around, that next harvest to be there, before you will find an inferior oil that will be under that seal. And that just makes me feel so good for myself and for my pets.
I would totally agree. I love our seed to seal quality standards. So yeah, check out seed to seal.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So, Elizabeth, do you want to talk a little bit about, just the general of how to be safe with oils and pets?
Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, I think one of the first places to start with is this idea of less is more. And I know as humans, we say the same thing. We say use 1 to 3 drops on location and use it more often rather than using 10 drops once a day, for instance. And so one of the things to take into consideration with animals is a horse is how many more pounds than a human, right? So a horse, you could use more drops with a horse and more often. Something like a small dog that's under 10 pounds, you're going to want to use it sparingly. And birds and cats and things like that. So the nice thing is that if we're talking about, for instance, applying oils to your smaller animals, like your cats, small dogs, exotics, it's recommended to generally dilute the essential oil with about 80 to 90% of a carrier oil. So if you use 3 to 5 drops of an essential oil and then 80 to 90% of a carrier oil. And so there's a few different ways to, do that application. But that would be about like 2 drops of an essential oil per 8 drops of a carrier oil, or 1 drop of essential oil per 9 drops of a carrier oil, is that type of dilution ratio. And I think we know the carrier oil, like the V6 mixing oil, is great for animals as well as humans. But if you don't have it, you can use coconut oil or olive oil are two of the basic ones we use.
And I love using coconut oil because that way if my dog licks the area, they're not getting like a funky oil into their system. They're getting something natural like coconut oil.
Mhm.
So I my little Olive ended up getting she got like yeasty ears, and
Mhm.
sometimes when that happens, it can cause their ears to kind of crack, almost like dry knuckles a little bit. And
Yeah.
so what I did was I took a few drops of lavender and I put it into coconut oil. I didn't use the fractionated. It wasn't the liquid. It was like the solid at room temperature, stuff. Organic coconut oil, and I just rubbed it on her ears a couple of times a day, and it cleared up really well. And what's nice is I didn't have to worry about if she touched it with her paw and then licked it, that she was going to be just fine.
That's awesome. Absolutely. So that's a great application of it. And then thinking of larger animals, a larger dog, things like goats, pigs, you could do 3 to 5 drops of the essential oil neat. And that word neat just means undiluted. Several of my friends keep saying, what does neat mean? I'm reading in the desk reference and it says neat, neat, neat. And I go, that just means undiluted. So you're generally safe using it either on a human or an animal, not diluted. And what's interesting is if you're wondering what oils to dilute, whether for small or large animals, the oils that are high in phenols are good to dilute. So an example of oils that are high in phenols would be wintergreen, basil, oregano, thyme, clove, melaleuca quinquenervia, sorry about that pronunciation, tea tree, Laurus nobilis, mountain savory, and cinnamon bark. I know that's a long list, but one thing would be is if the bottle, like wintergreen, is more of a bluish label, basil, oregano, thyme are your greenish labels. Oftentimes your greenish labels, you can ask that question. If you think of it being like a cooking oil, obviously oregano, thyme, clove, cinnamon bark, are your cooking oils. I think wintergreen also falls in that category. Those are oils that even for people, I recommend diluting. Oregano, if I ever apply it personally to my skin, I generally always dilute oregano. So it's going to be the same for your animals as well.
And I would say this too, the phenols, the way, like if I'm unsure if it's high in phenols, sometimes I'll just smell it and it's the oils that'll kind of open your nose a little bit. So if you stick it under your nose and your nose is like, ah, like usually that's something that's a little bit more spicy and it has a few phenols. I think what's so funny, Elizabeth, is that so it does say that even for larger animals, like cattle, horses, and elephants, that you can use 10 to 15 drops of neat application, which for me would be too much. I'm like 15 drops of oregano, but if you guys happen to have a pet elephant laying around, it says right here, 10 to 15 drops.
Yep. Well, so what's interesting is our oregano and thyme and wintergreen and basil are in the raindrop technique, right?
Oh,
And
that's a
I've
good point.
done 10 raindrops on horses, and we generally don't use V6 mixing oil. You just layer the oils on there. If the horse gets super irritated or you start seeing little bumps pop up near the spine, then you may want to layer it with some V6. And in the end of the raindrop, we actually use the Ortho Sport massage oil or Ortho Ease.
I think
Ortho,
it's Ortho Ease that's in that
Ortho
comes in
Ease
the kit.
massage.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
use either one, but I think it's Ortho Ease in the kit.
Okay, so Ortho-Ease in the kit, and that's essential oils in a base of your V6 mixing oil, essentially. So in the end, you're going to top it off with that. But what's neat about it is you want those oils to soak down in there undiluted or neat, right? So they get into the body and then you top it off to slow that absorption down into it.
Yes, yeah, that's awesome. So let's talk about some oils that are just again, they're kind of the generally regarded as safe as far as singles are concerned. And so that's going to be lavender, heliochrysum, excuse me, frankincense, celery sage, elemi, geranium, Roman chamomile, rosemary, again, that one's a little bit spicy, and valerian. And valerian, you guys, is a fantastic one to calm your pet. If they are thunderstorm afraid, or if they experience a lot of separation anxiety, valerian is excellent for that. And so just talking about dogs, because that's who I have the most experience with when it comes to oils. With the smaller dogs, so I've got two little guys and I have one big old fatty dog. Okay, so I have a little bit of a blend. And so with my little guys, you can start diffusing. My dogs, when I very first opened the bottle of lavender and I presented it to my dog Olive, she just started sneezing. She sniffed it and she was like, I am over this. No, thank you. And so what you do when you are deciding what to use for your pet is if you open the bottle and just present it to them, they will come up and they will smell it. And if they love it, they're going to keep smelling it. And sometimes they'll even try to take a taste. It'll be like, "Ugh," and try to like figure out if this is actually something that they can eat. My little dog, Fancy Francie, and she prances all around the house, which is how she got that nickname. Of course, her favorite oil is going to be rose. She can't get enough of it. That's what happens when you have a fancy dog. But for larger dogs, so for the little guys, start with just smelling before you touch them with it. With the larger dogs, you can do the smell test also, or you can do the direct application with by petting, like put it on your hand and just stroke the dog, pet the dog with it. You can also mix it into their shampoos or their soaps. I actually, when flea season comes around, my favorite recipe, you guys, is I will actually take throughout the year, I will save all of my empty essential oil bottles. Okay. All of the empty ones. I'll pull out the stopper. I just shove them into a jug. And then I will fill that jug with water and let all of those empty oil bottles just sit around in that water for a little while to like pull the little bits of oil out. Then I will take their cloth collars and let the cloth collars soak up the oil from those residual bottles. Just put them right in the water, let them dry, clip them on. And I am telling you, it is the best bug repellent, flea repellent, tick repellent that you will ever use. And it's amazing because it's just leftover essential oil bottles. So Elizabeth, you want to do cats and horses?
Sure, totally. Here we go. Okay, so felines are most receptive to diffusing essential oils. That is a great way to get started with them. And specifically, if you can use like the water-based ultrasonic diffuser is a great one versus the ones where you just put the oil bottle in there and there's no oil type of
Oh,
thing.
that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And so some people do believe that essential oils high in phenol should be used with caution with felines, cats, because of how their liver processes essential oils and the constituents in those oils. Again, it's one of those things where when you're diffusing an oil, maybe that you like as a person, go ahead and just be aware of how your animal is reacting to it. I know several people on our team who have cats and they really want to use all the oils we're recommending, but they're like, but I have a cat. Can I use this oil that has phenols in it? And my best recommendation is do it for a short amount of time and just monitor and see how your animal is doing. Sometimes cats will, if they don't like the smell of what's in the diffuser, they'll go in the other room type of thing. So let them have free reign of the house. And generally, that's a good option for them if they would rather not be around the smell type of
Yeah,
thing.
and animals tend to be very self-regulating, you guys. So if they don't like something, they will definitely separate themselves from it. So like if you put the oil in your hands and you put it on your horse or you put it on your dog, and like if my dog doesn't like the scent, they're gonna like try to rub it off or something like that, right? So just know like, oh, that is not their fave. We'll try something else later.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. For instance, because of cat systems, generally people don't put essential oils in a cat's water or food. But for some animals, if you feel like it's necessary for their well-being and treatment, dogs and horses, I've put essential oils in my horse's water before when I felt that it needed it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
mhm.
and what is suggested as well, especially with our canine friends too, is like let's say that your poor little dog friend has an upset tummy, okay? So you're gonna try your DiGize when it comes to your dog. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can put it in the palm of your hands, rub your hands together, and just cup your hands around the dog's belly, right? Oddly enough, that's the same way that you do it with the baby. When you have a little baby and you want to use some DiGize, you're going to put it in your hands, rub it together, cup your hands over that little baby's belly, and it's going to keep the baby's skin protected, but they'll still get the benefit from the oil, right? Same thing with the dog. If you're going to use the Dyes in water, have like use a ceramic or a stainless steel bowl, add your drops of Dyes, fill up the bowl with water, and then also have a bowl of water that doesn't have the essential oil in it available too, so that they have a choice. They can
Mhm.
drink the oil water or they can drink the plain water. And that's a great way to do it too.
Yeah, yeah. The only exception to that is when I had a horse that really had an upset tummy. He didn't like the smell or taste of Digize, but I knew he needed it, so that was his only water source for a while. But having him drink that actually helped with what was going on.
Yeah, isn't that's really good too. I mean,
Because
sometimes
sometimes I don't like the smell or taste of Digize, so we're all different, right? A horse may love it. Actually, one of my customers here in Kerrville, she's a saddle fitter. And so she takes Digize out to the barns. And what's interesting is when she's putting a saddle on a horse, that horse is really squirmy. Oftentimes that can mean that their gut has some inflammation in it. And it's an interesting thing. So with that, what she has done is have some lavender or has some Digize, and she'll let the horse smell it. And several horses have just smelled Digize and like licking it off her hands, and they're getting all over her and smelling it, and they're like telling her, I really need this. So it's interesting how animals will tell you what they need if you just present the smell to them.
So Lisa asks, can you apply the oil with coconut oil right onto their tummy? The answer is yes, you definitely can. Just know that your dog might end up licking their tummy, or your cat might sit there and go ahead and give themselves a little cat bath. Okay, so you can cup if you would like to, or put it in their water. You can apply topically. Either I think if I was going to try that with my dog and my dog had a furry belly, I would just put the oil on my hands and then wipe it over their fur. Get this, you guys, with fur, you don't actually have to touch the dog's skin with the oil. The
Mhm.
fur will actually grab that oil and bring it into their body. So don't worry about trying to separate fur or to drop it right on their skin. You can actually just rub it right onto their fur and they will get that benefit.
Yep, yep, absolutely. Okay, so let's
Oh,
see.
so here is I didn't realize we had slides for all of these. So here are
Oh,
dogs,
good.
you guys, and our tips for that if you want to grab that.
Sure.
Here's our feline friends.
This is such a beautiful presentation.
I agree. I agree.
Um,
Thank you, Grow Workspace. Um,
mhm.
this interesting thing here as well, Elizabeth, is that you can add essential oils to kitty litter.
Oh, yes. And it can really help with the smell of that area of your house.
Yes. Now, it does say with cats that usually with oils, you don't want to generally add it to their food or water
Yeah.
for our little cat friends.
Mhm.
But yes, you can pet them with the oil. Just have them smell it first.
Mhm. Mhm. Because, like anything, if you have oil in your hand and the cat comes up to you, it might go, ooh, and walk away, or it may come close to you and go, oh, hey, I want some snuggles. I like that. And then you can be petting them and get it on them that way.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. All right. So our little bird friends. I don't have birds, but boy does my dad. My dad, I don't know what happened to him. When he got into his older age, he was like, I will take all the birds, please. Which is really funny because they make so much noise. And he was like such, he was like, gotta be quiet, gotta be quiet. And now he has the loudest animals like imaginable. So the best way to introduce essential oils to birds is by misting, spraying, or diffusing oils around them. Oils can still be applied topically, but because of their feathers and sensitive skin, it's best to test the bird's tolerance with spraying or diffusing before you try a direct application with our bird friends. Birds also respond quite readily to essential oils in their drinking water. So here's our little rule of thumb there. It's 1 drop per quart of water. If you
Mhm.
think about how little birds are compared to a big O human, and we only put 2 to 3 drops in our water, when it comes to the birds, it's 1 drop per quart. This is also really good for to keep in mind for your chickens and your poultry as well. So,
Mhm.
um, so keep that in mind too. And I actually, when I had chickens, I would put a little bit of essential oil. I actually would use thieves. I would do 1 drop of thieves into their chicken water hangy guy. And that actually kept gross things from growing in that chicken water. Okay. So in Florida, everything tries to bloom and grow everywhere. So, including the dog's water and the chicken's water. So, I usually put just a little bit of thieves in there, and it does help keep that bacteria down.
Well, plus, if you can think what thieves does for us, thieves vitality is supportive for the immune system. So, similarly, your animal can be getting those same benefits.
Hmm.
And I do know several people that have used thieves in their chicken water too. So, I love it. Yeah. So, with these safety tips, we've talked about quite a lot of them, right? Let me see if there's any that we have not talked about yet. Um, okay. So citrus oils are photosensitive and are best diluted or diffused. And then what's interesting with the photosensitive aspect of it is you may want to keep like your dog, for instance, inside for a few hours after you use a photosensitive oil like a citrus oil, specifically your lemons, your orange type of thing. Um, but take them out to go potty, bring them back in. It's just you don't want them laying out in the sun type of a thing. Let's see. Keeping oils away from the eyes is a very easy one to know. Never directly put oils directly in the ear is another good one.
Mhm.
If you need to put it, wipe it on the ear, great, but you don't want to open up their ear and drop it in. Same as we wouldn't do that for humans type of a thing.
Yeah, no ears, no eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if oils do irritate the pet, especially in the eyes or in the ears, then dilute it. And so if somehow an oil does get in their eyes, you can actually just take your V6 oil and slather that in the eye, leave it there for 30 seconds, wipe it away, and see if they seem less irritated. If you need to do it again type of a thing. But that's how we generally deal with oils getting in the eyes.
Yes. Yeah. And I would say too, if you plan on adding oils to your animal's bath, okay, let's say they have a skin condition or something like that. The best way that I have found to do that is, I don't bubble bath my my animals, but this actually says that you can put it into a gel base. But if I'm going to use it in a bath format for my doggos, I'm going to put it in their pet shampoo. And so I actually love the Animal Sense pet shampoo. My dog's fur can tend to get a little yeasty. The poor thing has every allergy under the moon. Okay. And that can also lead to some yeast in her fur. And the Animal Sense does a fantastic job of getting rid of the yeast. And sometimes I'll kick it up a little notch by adding an extra drop or two of Melrose. And that will really cut back on that yeast growth. But yes, you do want to make sure that you have it into a base.
Mhm. Exactly. So let's see, other things like test using oils internally with animals, test their reaction. And so I think we pretty much covered all of these, Beverly.
Awesome. Okay, so here
Mhm.
are some really good things for your coat and the skin of your pet, kind of like what I was just mentioning. Like if it's yeasty or you're having hot spots, the poor doggos here will get little hot spots all the time. And so just like humans, your pet skin is their biggest organ. It doesn't matter if you're talking about dogs or horses or our sheep friends, that's definitely going to be their biggest organ. It's important to know what ingredients you're putting on the skin and whether it's harmful or not. Most products available at the store may sound safe, but too often they're filled with ingredients that can prove otherwise. When you use Young Living, you can rest assured that you're getting the top-notch quality oil and products for your pet. And that again is thanks to that seed to seal promise. So here you guys on the screen, you'll see a few things that really support your dog's skin. I love the Mendwell oil. Mendwell is fantastic for those hot spots, you guys. It aids in healing the minor scrapes and scratches and has plenty of natural earthy aroma. And, I just mentioned that you don't need to dig down to a dog's skin in order for an oil to be effective. But when my pups have a little hot spot that they're just scratching at, I will actually separate the fur and put on a drop or two of Mendwell. I also like Mendwell for humans, you guys. So it can kind of go either way, right? You can use human oils on dogs and dog oils on humans, just throwing that out there. The Infectaway is also, so Mendwell is part of the Animal Sense line. So is Infectaway and so is PuriClean. So you don't need to necessarily worry about dilution. It's already pre-diluted, but check it out with your animal anyway. Infectaway helps to clean out wounds and also soothes irritation. So sometimes I'll put a couple of drops of Mendwell, a couple of drops of Infectaway. It has myrrh and it has that Dorado Azul essential oil in it as well. And then PuriClean helps to clean out minor scrapes and scratches. Excuse me. It comforts irritations and it features skin improvement properties of patchouli and also mountain savory. Something else about mountain savory is that mountain savory is really, really good for the lungs. It is a fantastic oil to support some really good opening lung health as well.
Yeah, that is awesome. I wonder if because of time, do you think we should just kind of flip through these slides quickly so people can just
Oh,
see the specific products
yes.
under each category? Because as much as like I would love to just keep talking, I know we only have 8 more minutes left to go here.
I'm glad you said that because I didn't realize how long we were being
I
excited
know.
about the cookbook.
Yes, exactly,
So we do
exactly.
have some really good recipes for you guys. So if you want to pop out your cell phones and just take a picture of the recipes as we go through them, you may find
Yeah,
some of these really helpful. So
totally.
here's the pet collar. Like if you're looking for a pet collar recipe, here's a really good recipe, you guys. But honestly, I just save up those empty bottles, stick them in water, soak the dog collars in there, and I'm telling you, it will be fabulous. Now, in the picture, the dog has a leather collar. Okay, it's not going to work on your leather collar. It's got to be found that out there.
Nope, nope, gotta have the fabric so it can soak down in there.
Yes, and you do want to wait for the collar to fully dry before you snap it around their neck because you don't want, the irritation to kind of come in there. All right, pole balm. Now, this also is like if you like a good DIY, here's a fantastic one for paws. But I love the Animal Sense ointment for my pet and for myself. Okay,
Yeah.
so I put the ointment on Olive's ears also when they get irritated. But oh my gosh, if you've never given your pets a little paw massage, you should.
Aw, no. So what's really nice though is if you need a very specific oil, like to clean an area or clean the bottom of paws, go ahead and do that. Wash it with water, then put your essential oil on there, and then do the animal sense ointment. And you're gonna have the effect of the oil that you specifically need, but then seal it with the moisturizing effect. And the ointment also has essential oils in it. So it is very helpful for cleansing and disinfecting as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are another list of some really good digestive support oils. If you guys want to take a little, you have your Paragize as well, which again, that is an Animal Sense oil.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But Digize, oh, so good.
Oh, it is.
Mental.
And then of course your dental support. Now we don't have the Animal Sense pet chews anymore. There are lots of pet chew recipes though that have oils in them. So you can look those up. But here are some for your doggos and some for your kitties.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very awesome. And they have make dog toothbrushes and things like that. So if you have
Mhm.
to go that detailed,
With
you can.
with the toothpaste, you guys just make sure it doesn't have xylitol in it. Good for humans, bad for pets.
Mm-hmm.
So here is your little pup toothpaste. If you're worried about it, if you want to skip the toothpaste altogether, you can just do a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of baking soda with some
There you go.
organic coconut oil.
And you could substitute the peppermint, say, for Thieves Vitality would work. Um, just imagine what you might use for your teeth. If you need a breath refresher type of thing, then that could be helpful.
Puppy snacks. Gotta love these.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
I actually bought my sister a little dog snack maker, which is like if you think about a like a George Foreman grill, sort of a thing. It just sits and it makes little dog bones. And so
That's
this
so
is a
cool.
fantastic recipe for that. You just like stick it in the little dog tray and shove it in the oven or
Oh,
close the
very
lid.
cool. Good idea. Good idea.
All right. And I'm glad for emotional support. I'm so happy that it actually mentions the Animal Sense TOA.
Yeah.
TOA, you guys, so fantastic. I mentioned Vetiver to help our dogs and our cats and our animals that have some separation anxiety, or they're afraid of the thunder. You guys, my two little guys do not care about thunder. My big old fatty dog, terrified. TOA absolutely helps. As a matter of fact, I have a massive thunder shirt just for my big baby of a dog. Okay. But she loves
Mm,
her TOA also.
that's really neat. Yeah. Mm.
All right. Do you want to talk about a little bit of cleanliness, Elizabeth?
Well, these are super great ones. So, like the Citrus Fresh purifies the air from unwanted odors. It just helps with adding a clean, uplifting scent.
Yes.
And purification has the lavender in it and several other ingredients. Purification is probably my favorite smelling essential oil and oil blend to just help with all of those unwanted odors and such. And I'm trying to see, they don't really give any specific uses. But again, animal scent shampoo, we talked about awesome. Thieves Household Cleaner. This is just a great one because if you're using it around your house, then it's going to be cleaning those areas, cleaning the floor, spraying it around different areas. What's fun is if you take Thieves or Purification and make a spray bottle, you can spray down dog beds and help
Mhm.
with the odor and the smell of it.
I
Um,
love adding a couple of drops of peppermint to my thieves cleaner, especially if
yeah.
I'm mopping up a dog mess or something that a
Oh
little
yeah.
see happened on the tile floor. I'm like thieves cleaner and peppermint.
Yeah. If a dog bed has a liner on it that you can take off and put in the washing machine type of thing, use the Thieves laundry detergent and add some extra Thieves household cleaner in there. Works really
Mhm.
good.
It's fall.
Then the foaming hand soap. And so that's just great for us, right? And then the Thieves waterless hand sanitizer, again, is also good for us, but because of the denatured alcohol, it's a bit healthier than your other stuff out there on the market that also may have fake fragrances and such in it. So that's a good safe one. Yeah. Ooh, okay. So here is a stinky pet room spray with 20 drops of citrus fresh or purification, a splash of witch hazel in distilled water. And so your 4-ounce glass spray bottle, or if you're worried about glass, you can do plastic. The only thing with plastic is essential oils will bond onto the plastic so that you have to use the same oil in the same bottle all the time. So if you're worried about pets knocking it off a glass spray bottle, use a plastic one, but it will always smell like that oil. And I do this all the time. It's a great mixture. Yay. Now, how do we get the best deals?
Well,
Who's
with the
gonna
best
answer
deal, of
that one?
course, loyalty rewards, everybody.
Loyalty
Rewards.
rewards. I actually just helped create a loyalty rewards flyer, which we're gonna post in the Royal Dream Team soon for all you guys to use because it's so fun. But yes, just put all this stuff on your loyalty order. And when it's over 100 PV, you will earn one free product. Over 200 PV, you get something else added. And over 300 PV, you get something else added. So
Yes.
putting in
Now,
plugs.
we okay, so we have come to the end of our pet time together, but I want to share this with you. Okay, so next week we're going to do an amazing class. It's actually one of my favorites because it's all about essential oils and gardening. Okay, if you're out in Colorado and you guys get a freak May snowstorm, so sorry, you're gonna have to wait till June. Okay, come move to Florida with me, and then you can start planting already. Right? Are you guys planting out there in Texas yet, Terry? Terry, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we are. So absolutely. Yeah. People are planning here. I doubt we're going to get a freeze. We just had our last freeze 2 weeks ago.
My little figs are already coming out. I got some papaya buds out there. I'm telling you guys. So, but we're going to talk about essential oils and how they can just help your garden be as organic as possible. And it's going to be a great class. But the class after that, we are going to do a little special class all about how you can build your Young Living business big enough to actually get your products for free. So if you are a Young Living brand partner, and you're like, I have been wanting to start, but I don't really know how to grow. It's like you don't have to look at Royal Crown Diamond, you guys. Some of us just want to get our products for free. And let me tell you, I have not paid because I use my Young Living check to pay for my Young Living products. And I have some left over, but I haven't paid for my Young Living order in over 9 years. So if there's anything that I know that I can confidently teach, I may not be able to teach you how to reach Royal Crown Diamond. That's Terry. Okay, that's all Terry. That's what we lean into her. But if you want to know how to get your Young Living products for free, Elizabeth and we can definitely help you get there. Oh no, it's not 9 years. It's 11 years, you guys. I figured that out this morning. I have not paid for a Young Living product in 11 years. Elizabeth, what about you? How long has it been for you since you started building your business?
16 years. So I would
There
say
you
right
go.
at about 15 years, I think I had gotten over that mark of being able to pay for it. And now it's just right there. It's
I
awesome.
know, wouldn't that be so nice, you guys? And by the way, I consider paying for your Young Living products $300 in your pocket or more because I regularly spend about $325 on my Young Living products. And so when I say let's get your Young Living products for free, in my head it's somewhere between $325 to $350 because you also want to pay for taxes and shipping. So that is going to be our class. It's going to be completely focused on how you can make 300 to 350 every single month. So that's not going to be next week, but it'll be the week after that. And it's going to be a fantastic class. It'll be really fun. So,
That's
okay,
exciting.
well, guess what time it is, you guys?
Woohoo, book club.
It is time for Leadership Book Club. So we're gonna sign off of the live stream. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, Mia, for being on Zoom. And everybody who is on the live stream, Rona, Michelle, Lisa, I can see you guys. If there's anyone else over there, which you're not popping up. So you didn't say hi, but we thank you for coming anyway.
Thanks, Beverly. Everybody.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. And I'll be opening up the clubhouse for Leadership Book Club here in a second. So bye.
Bye.
Okay, let me do that and let me stop.